And then
It's like a weird West like skirmish game. So there's like individual characters, and then you play with a card deck. Like you use like a card deck as your dice basically.
Yeah, you have a card deck and a few dice as well as some chips.
Stream, you saw nothing.
It's a small skirmish game. It's really interesting because the setting is really cool. It's like Wild West dark fantasy setting.
I am sorry to interrupt you, my fine fellow, but it does appear that we are live now, and so we got some helloing to do to the chat. Helloing the chat. How is you the doing?
Incredible production. A+.
I live to serve. I live to serve. Anyway, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory on Unlucky Rolls. I am Trisky. I run the channel. And joining me are a bunch of these other nerds that are with me right now. But before we get to them, I just wanted to say, yeah, we have a new overlay for the YouTube. We have some updates. Hopefully you like it. Let us know in the comments if you do or don't. If you have any other comments and whatnot, we'd love to read them. But at the same time, I would like to introduce my fellow conspirators and then get to the summary. So we are going to go from top to bottom in the Discord voice chat. So we're going to start off with Chrono.
Hi, I am Chrono the Heretic, but that name is probably going to change come next week because this was basically a stopgap name before I can rebrand properly. So, hi everyone, I am Chrono, and I play Saphar Shaitaneese, the Harlequin Acolyte.
Yes. I am, as I said, Trisky. I play Gizmek Skrapmangl da Gear-Turnah, the orc mech boy of the Blackstone.
I am Marius. I play Sator, the navigator of the Holtz dynasty, pretty much.
Hi, I'm Reaper Joe. I play the eponymous rogue trader, Holtz, and the other three basically do whatever I say. It's nice.
He deludes himself into believing this.
Nominally.
And last but not least,
the GM, and I make crazy situations and crazy mysteries for these fine folks to solve.
Yes.
And we had a fun crazy mystery last week with a scary like alien-esque spaceship encounter. And some like weirdness, which is my like calling card, is like weird set pieces. The Blackstone almost ran into a ship in the middle of nowhere in the warp, and they came out and it was a wreck, and it was a giant battle cruiser of the Imperial Navy. And then Holtz put together a landing party in typical like Star Trek fashion, including himself and his top lieutenants. He went aboard, found some creepy black goo that was mind controlling people to killing each other. And
we didn't need the black goo. Turns out we just needed a bit of paranoia about black goo. And we killed each other anyways.
Yeah, I think we did more damage than the goo did.
That's just the human condition, you know. And there's and they found like mysterious circumstances why the ship blew up, and it's just like full of loot, but Holtz couldn't get at it because the black goo was there. And then they went up to the navigator spire, and they found all sorts of creepy Necron-ish technology being merged with human technology. No explanation for that yet. And yeah, everyone went back to the Blackstone. And did you guys blow up that ship on the way out?
We did, like, we bombed it with macro cannons, I think.
Right.
Yeah, macro cannon bombardment.
You blew it in the smithereens, and then took off into the warp again towards the night world of Yerdant. When you arrived, the regent informed you that, first off, he's just the regent, and he's only there temporarily until the great tournament is over, and that you are the second ships to arrive at Yerdant in the recent times, and that all of their psykers have been picked up by some black ships very recently. Yeah.
Very sus.
So we will return to the bridge of the Blackstone. The regent signing off, and Holtz being sort of shocked by this news, surrounded by his lieutenants. So take it away.
All right, gentlemen. I recommend that we don't explain exactly what happened to what those black ships actually were. Mostly because I don't know that we know what those black ships are actually doing. Though I think it's safe to say that those black ships were the ones that we were looking for, and most likely aren't crewed by actual Sisters of Silence.
They was pulling the purple more than a black.
Yes. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm just going to say yes to that.
Don't worry, you pretty little head over it.
Regardless, we're here to collect a knights for the imperial cause back at the Gilead system. So regardless, we're heading towards this tournament to see if we can't hurry things along.
Yeah. The Wanderer like pipes up and says, "Sir, we're receiving some sort of signal from the tournament world. So it appears to be broadcasting system wide." She brings it up on the hologram display, and it's like a televised fight between two knights out in a wasteland area, with actual commentary and everything. So it's you see one knight go in and smash the other one's face in with its fist, and the commentator's "Oh!" Master Horatio deals a solid blow to his opponent.
This is WWE.
And then there's a fake cheering sound from a crowd that doesn't exist, piped in over the audio.
What sort of cheap production are we looking at here?
Saphar is I'm just watching immediately, intently, just transfixed. Yes, get his ass, get his ass. One of those WWE fanboys.
Yeah, the other night, takes a jump backwards, and lands in a fighter pose. Brings up his Gatling gun and just starts to unload into his opponent. And you could see the bullets denting on his shoulder pad as the other knight turns his systems away from the incoming fire, and runs behind a giant rock, and so you can see the bullet holes disappearing into the rock, and the camera pans across as he does.
The other knight takes this opportunity to pull out a giant microphone and start talking smack.
Yeah, but no, we have a mid-fight interview, where it's and if we can get patched into the cockpit, Master Horatio, how do you think this fight is going? I've got him on the back foot here. And then he comes around the other side of the rock with his rapid fire battle cannon, starts firing shots downrange, and they blow up all around his opponent. What do you all think of this? What's the reaction on the bridge?
Saphar is hype.
Those.
He's so hype at this.
Oh,
the best thing he's ever seen.
Oi, Boots, get me one of those.
Come on, hit him with the left. No, the other left. The left cannon. Come on, kill him.
Come back and even bigger death dread if I get one dose.
Yeah.
Like one of the rapid fire battle cannon shots like hits hit opponent like head on, and he like stumbles back and like falls over. You can see that this fight is actually happening like on the outskirts of like a hive city, and so when he falls over, he like hits a bunch of like outcrop buildings from the hive city and like destroys like a city block as he falls over.
Holtz is just like looking at like the production value of this this broadcast with like the cheap like audience participation that doesn't actually exist, and it's always delayed and everything.
It's probably the highest production value you've seen of like a system-wide broadcast like this, to be honest. Like normally you don't show the knights fighting. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's everything else, like the commentary.
Oh yeah, it's super low budget, and very like lowest common denominator.
Yeah,
like Holtz would absolutely just mute if he could.
like everybody watching this has a can of like Pabst Blue Ribbon or something.
Yeah.
Not
Sator
sponsored.
is-
No, people are
Sator
just chugging cans of Mountain Dorn when they're watching this.
Mountain Dorn.
Yeah.
Sator is thinking, yeah, the fucking giant knights are cool, but how is it that no one is watching them from right below their feet?
Yeah. Exactly. You gotta sprint for the ringside seats, man. That's where the action.
Yeah.
The other one, so it's like his opponent like gets up. He's called like what does the commentary call him? It's like what's a similar name to like Horatio?
Doratio. Get ratioed.
Get ratioed.
It's like Dormammu or something. Master Dormammu like gets up and like rapid fires back his Gatling cannon, which causes his opponent to have to like jump behind cover again. And then like they jump at each other and they like have their weapons up. One of them's got a big power fist with electricity sparking all around it. The other one has a roaring, massive chainsword that, based on the scale, is like the size of a building. And they're just like going at it like hand to hand. I don't think any of you have ever seen knights like actually fight before. Like, have any of you been like on a battlefield with a knight?
No, not at all.
No.
It's a little surprising to you how lifelike they move. Like the fact that they like, like it's like an actual person instead of like a mech warrior pilot thing where there's like an engine and they just like walk in a straight line. Like they actually they're like kicking at each other with like kung fu moves and shit.
Knights, like in comparison to Titans in the lore, have a lot more dexterity to them than like any sort of Imperial Titan. Like it's different. And the closest thing Saphar would have seen would be a Wraith Lord, or that sort of thing.
Yeah, they kind of look like Wraith Lords when they're fighting. Like they're very dexterous. It's actually very surprising.
It would for Gizmek be like maybe he's seen like orc battles that had like giant like Gorkanauts and Morkanaut kind of thing, but he hasn't seen anything moving with this kind of stuff because orcs don't build things that move elegantly. They build things that make big booms.
Yeah, they have to be like piloted with like actual
20,000 different orcs and Gretchens.
With bars and steering wheels and shit. And this is like hacked into their brain. So like they're like actively controlling the knights with their minds. There's like another hubbub as like each master like takes a step back and they're like circling each other, and then they both order their like respective armigers to fight, and so there's like a bunch of like armigers in between them like chainsawing at each other right now.
Wait, what are those?
Armatures.
Armigers are like little bitty knights.
Oh, I see.
Maybe half the size of a normal knight, and it's usually like their direct like lieutenants.
I see.
And they are similarly wired into their armigers, so they move around with the same dexterity. Let me see if I can get a picture up real quick. there is like very little concept art for armigers. There's a lot of models for them. Let's see.
Probably
And Discord
because
won't let me copy and paste, so we're just gonna skip that and have you look it up on your own.
Hey, there's your homework,
Exercise
everybody.
up to the reader. But yeah, they're like little knights. And they have like melta lances, which are like a flamethrower type weapon that's meant to like penetrate armor, and they have little chain swords. So like one like smacks his opponent back with his chain sword, and then like his opponent like flails backwards and puts his gun up and fires and like cuts a hole into that other armature's like shoulder or leg or something, and the armature falls over. And then the other one like steps on top of him and like drives his chainsaw down into the pilot compartment, and you see like blood fly everywhere, and then the armature puts his hand up in victory just to be like cut in half by another armature's meltalan. It's like a 5v5 going on in between these two big knights, where they're taking a break basically to have like the little ones fight.
The sideshow.
the sideshow.
And then the commentator says, and to be clear, this is for control of this entire territory. Master Horatio's attack could send him into the primaries.
The primaries?
I unironically thought you were about to say Shadow Realm. I'm sorry.
God damn it.
That's what the black goo does.
The Shadow.
But like,
What happens to the loser? Do they shove him in the warp?
Oh god.
I think they just die, Gizmek.
Oh, that's a lot better.
I think you just
No, but wait, did you say primaries? That they will advance to the primaries.
Yes, that he did. Meaning there's going to be more. Saphar says as he has manifested popcorn from seemingly nowhere.
Oh no, this will take far too long.
Aww.
We have another event coming up to you in the next few hours. As on the other side of the planet, on the polar caps, there's a fight brewing. Stay tuned for the Battle of the Polar.
Wait, how many of these are going on at once?
Repeat that?
Wanderer says that she's reading combat all over the planet. There are like hundreds of these fights taking place simultaneously.
Oh my.
Holtz asked Wanderer to like bring up the planet itself to see how many ships are in orbit.
None.
Interesting.
It appears. So if you didn't know, the way that knights fight is they like land a battle bunker on the planet with all of their like construction and repair facilities on it.
Gotcha.
So there's no ships floating. She like pings a bunch of green dots all over the planet of all the battle bunkers that have been detected. And then like yellow pings where all the hive cities are. And there's like maybe 100 green pings of like battle bunkers all over the place. She's saying there's like a separate data stream being pumped out all the time of like all the different like territories and control of the territories and stuff, and she like changes the map, and every single like patch of the planet has like a different color, and there's like 100 different colors of like territories that each of these battle bunkers are like quote unquote controlling. And then she's got like red pings at like where the colors meet, sometimes there's like a battle going on between two of these night houses.
So wait, these territories, are they trying to expand the territory on this planet?
I don't know, sir. Based on the commentary, it seems as though this territory is important for scoring or something.
Oh, this will take forever. We're going to we're going to see if we can institute some rule changes. I'm all for tradition and all, but well, we don't have time to sit around and watch all of this.
Well, when you say rule changes, what was it you had in mind?
Oh, well, right now these are a bunch of one-on-ones. That seems far too small scale for this new Imperium. Maybe putting them in teams would be funnier. That and possibly constantly shrinking the battlefield, so that they constantly have to be on the move instead of staying in their own territory.
Oh god, it's PUBG.
Oh, of course, it's PUBG.
Damn.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick and continue if you want to like argue.
Yeah.
Saphar's eyes light up because that sounds like the coolest thing he's ever seen in his fucking life. Just, yes.
Also, screw this primary bullshit. We're going to solve this in less than a week. I mean, we're getting all the action out as all in one go.
We're going to guess the entire fucking planet.
Yes. by the authority invested in me as a rogue trader.
Yeah.
I'm back.
But the authority invested in me as someone with no authority on this planet.
I have plenty of authority.
I decree.
There are no ships nearby.
Well,
We have all
the
of
ships,
authority in the world.
the ships are all like on the planet.
You
They're just now bunkers.
uh,
I think. Could the ships take off again? Is that a thing that they can do?
Ships generally do that. Yes, they can take off.
No. Well, like
Typically the bunkers, like they just land and they just stay there.
yeah, because they're
And
so
then
heavy they can't leave the
transports will
atmosphere.
come and like collect the knights and stuff after, and they'll like set back up.
also, I'm pretty
On
sure
their- on their
that
night ride.
at least in our team, we made it so that usually most ships can't land on planets because they are just way too big.
Now
Yeah.
there are ships like floating around the system. There's a couple of transports moving between the like the mining worlds at the edges of the systems and the like production worlds that are a little closer in.
But those are just like trade ships, right?
Yeah, like as far as you can tell, they're just like full of like ore.
I mean, I think what Marius was talking about is the fact that void ships get way too close to the planet, the gravity fucking blows everything up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah, even our ship's like over 1 kilometer long. It's like it's a nitty bitty ship.
Yeah, like normal 40K ships can't go into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're built to survive zero pressure, and so like any pressure would be real bad.
Mm-hmm. Like this
So-
was
Like
crumble
it's
under
like
them.
in Futurama, where it's like, how many G's can this ship take? And it's like, well, it's built a spaceship, so between 0 and 1.
Yeah.
The only fucking ship on that I know in 40K that is allowed to land is the fucking crude egg.
Oh god.
Typically,
hey, I resent that. You're allowed to land a rock.
ships
Rock.
such as yours have bays full of
Smaller craft.
smaller
to
craft, or if
shuttle.
they are like a military ship, they'll have like drop pods.
Mm-hmm.
Where is
or in the night case, they'll have like drop like cities where they drop an entire city on the planet surface.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, where is the broadcast coming from? Like, is there like, can we pinpoint that?
There appears to be like one major hive city on the tournament world that isn't colored. It's supposed to be like neutral ground, I guess.
I see.
That's where the broadcast is coming from.
All right, I'm gonna get claim that. Drops and just like starts walking away, prepares a drop pod for the Death Dread straight into the announcing table.
Oh.
Gizmek, the Holtz dynasty is claiming that territory. We don't need to drop just yet.
mean, that hive city is like a hive city, so it's got like a billion people living.
I mean, Holtz was planning on just like shuttling down and like talking. He wasn't actually planning on like bombing it or anything. Yeah.
They just see you hurtling towards the hive city, catching fire in the atmosphere. We're just here to talk.
Gizmek's just like dropping down on the death guard, is like, I'm here to have a conversation.
I wish to engage in peaceful diplomacy.
Gizmek just bursts through the door. Ah, yes, the negotiator.
All of a sudden, we're on the fucking Warhammer fantasy world. It's fucking Monstron.
Yeah.
Back on track.
Yeah.
You gotta pick a fight with Sigmar himself.
Yeah. So like, Holtz would probably like try and like covertly contact that hive city, and like basically just like get permission to like land a shuttle.
Yeah. So you get a hologram of like a different sort of noble. He's not as meek as the regent of the system is.
Mm-hmm.
He puts out like big, in like Idiocracy where they have like the WWE star be the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He puts out that big energy. He's
Oh, God.
very muscular. He's large. He's got like all sorts of like colorful sort of like badges all over his shirt. And you think you like make out like symbols of like some minor like night houses and stuff. And he says, Rogue Trader, how dare you send the commissioner a message in the middle of a grand tournament? You know how much work I'm doing right now? Very busy.
Clearly, you're not working enough. How long has this tournament's been going on and you haven't finished yet? Your tithe is already overdue.
We're merely 10 years in.
Gizmek just, at this point, Gizmek steps forward and pushes Holtz aside and looks straight into the mirror. He's just like, 10 years of fighting!
Isn't it excellent? Isn't it glorious?
Get me one of them big things. I'm joining in.
Saphar at this point, Saphar only has one question. He's like, and how exactly has this planet been able to generate enough of these
Who is this excellent and amazing alien before me?
this man of patrician taste?
I'm Gizmek.
Yes, but what are you, Gizmek?
I'm an orc.
And like he like rubs his chin and he says, obviously, a species of excellent taste.
I like fighting.
He does like an anime like pose when he says that. He's
I'm
very
just
over the top.
imagining that one fucking scene from Full Metal Alchemist where the two really, like the two buff guys just like hold hands and just like,
yeah, like if this was in person, that whole scene would be happening right now.
Yeah.
Holtz kind of like just like grabs the like or just like summons the servo skulls like back to him. It's like, anyways, I don't intend to ruin the festivities. I merely wish to hurry things along a little bit, propose some rule changes that I think you might be interested in.
yeah, like getting me in there.
I was bred for this very position. It is my life's duty to fulfill the tournament.
And fulfill it you shall. Just faster.
Yeah. He just like doesn't understand. He's just like shaking his head and like,
yeah, let me see if I can put it a little bit better. Gizmek just
No.
clears
That
his
won't
throat.
do at all. Our viewer retention is out of control.
Viewer retention.
We haven't had a single mutiny, rebellion, uprising. The last decade. It's truly a golden era for Yerdant.
Oh. Well, that's boring.
Oh,
But it's the fighting that makes it so. Don't you see? The broadcast will continue. And he he just hangs up on him.
I still make sure I get permission to land.
He accepts as long as you bring and he spells orc incorrectly.
so orc with a C.
Wait, what did he spell with?
Like
the C.
ORC. He puts it in quotes, 'cause
Gizmek
he doesn't
visibly
really know.
froths. Gizmek visibly froths at the mouth.
He doesn't know what an orc is.
Oh god. We're gonna have a bad
So for some context, back in our earlier days when we were on the feudal world, we met a bunch of different tribes that were named after fantasy creatures. Yeah. So there was one tribe named Orc with a C, and Gizmek was audibly and physically against this the entire time we learned about them. And then we met them, and they weren't even fighters; they were like Canadians.
Oh
They
god.
were like a republic.
Yeah,
It's
and
cultural
they were like,
insensitivity.
it was a group of orcs named with a C that were a bunch of nice guys. So now orc with a C triggers Gizmek, basically.
It's a microaggression.
Yes. So Gizmek is visibly frothing at the mouth over this, and he's just like, I get it out.
Gizmek, we'll be down there shortly. And
Gizmek's already running out the door towards the ship before you even finish your sentence.
Hold on 1 second. My dog got tangled up in my cords.
Oh god.
Perfect timing.
Okay, I'm back now.
But yeah,
she literally
you're
got her neck wrapped around my headphone cords.
Oh no! We don't want to hang the pupper. No.
How big is your dog?
But yeah. Anyways, yeah, we take a shuttle down. I bring Orc. I bring Gizmek.
Oh,
Bring Orc.
Yeah, so it takes a couple of days to get into orbit of this planet, and you all set up into a lighter of some sort. And who else do you bring down with you? I mean, I'm sure the whole team, but anybody else?
Gizmek is going to take a detour and grab Pippi.
Okay.
I would. I don't know if I'd bring him along, but I'd invite Invictor Braum for certain reasons.
Good idea.
Though he'd be traveling along with us, so it's up to him if he wants to come.
Yeah, he'd be happy to come. He side eyes Gizmek in every scene.
I want to establish one thing that's going on this entire ride until somebody or something stops him. Gizmek is still seething over the misspelling, and so he's just taking his power claws and he's rubbing claws on chalkboard kind of shit. He's doing that on the edge of the ship repeatedly throughout this.
Gizmek Holtz just has a pair of headphones, noise canceling headphones to ignore it. The rest of you are screwed, by the way.
You keep seeing Invictor Braum looked over at Gizmek, and then his hand darts down to his pistol, and then he remembers and doesn't shoot Gizmek.
They
spelled
it wrong.
I feel like if we brought Iron along too, someone would get shot.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the plan. I think we're safe bringing a few Xenos onto this planet, but I don't think this is the place where we should be pushing our luck, considering.
You're coming along as well, Saphar, or are you staying back on the ship and doing something else?
No, indeed, I am coming along. I wouldn't miss this. Though I am possessed of a few questions, if that's all right.
Ask away.
I sort of lean over to Holtz and I ask, if the man speaks true, and this grand melee has been consistent for the past solar decade or so, how have they had the funds for all this?
Deficit spending.
Wait, sorry, what?
Deficit spending.
Oh, God.
Wait, you're saying they're spending more teeth than they have? How the heck do you even do that?
Getting an economics lesson from the org. A business economics lesson.
Okay, so I'm going to have to...
result in high inflation. The economy, sir.
Okay, this is going to take a while, and we only have like a few hours before we land. So,
Sator plugs in.
Gizmek, stop scratching the wall to listen to this.
Sator plugs in his own earphones.
basically, the system takes out loans from various surrounding other systems, with the credit to pay them back.
Well, that
that
doesn't
credit
make
never
any
gets.
sense in the current situation because like no one's able to communicate with each other or travel between the worlds. So
Well, I think he means like the nearby planets and whatnot.
Yeah.
Not like complete other systems.
And is it not that one of the main purposes of our being unto this world is that they've neglected to pay their dues to the big man on the throne himself?
You'd be correct. Which is
Good
why
luck getting your deposit back.
And don't worry, the Imperium will collect its due.
I'm good fucking luck getting anything out of these guys.
We have our ways.
Yeah.
If they can't pay in thrones, they will pay in blood.
Oh no.
Or just take some teeth.
If all else fails, might we be able to confiscate one of the knights? Can we fit it on the ship? We can keep it in my room.
I'm just imagining like this night gang shoved in so far that like all the fucking like panels and everything get ripped off, and it's just like this little corner of the room with like a rat's nest and a knight just poking in like barely.
See, I was picturing just like like a cable like just wrapped around one of the knights and we just drag it behind us.
It would be like
Just
a
floating out behind the engine, slowly getting
It would be like a grown-up goldfish in a fish bowl.
Or it's just like tied to the top. Like when you like buy a bookshelf off like eBay or some shit and you have to drive it back to your house, it's just like strapped to the top with bungee cables.
It's like I just want to point out it's a kilometer-long ship, and like within like a 30-foot area of it, there's just like a bungee cables around this night. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, we Holtz gives an economics lesson while we drive down.
yeah, and it's you see the heat shield heat up when the ship hits the atmosphere, and if you look out the windows, you'll see the massive hive city on like a desert wasteland, like of just craggy rock, covered in signs of battle, like blasts and rocks cut in half and like holes punched through giant mountains. And you land up at the highest spire of the city. The wind is like whipping past you as you come out of the shuttle. The commissioner is standing there with 3 honor guard. And he's got like a very fancy hat on that he didn't have on before, but he's still wearing his same like white jacket, covered in what look like sponsorship patches. And he says, "Captain, here to see the fights in person?
Of course.
We have one going down a few miles south of the city. If you'd like to join me on a skimmer."
Of course, I'd love to see these knights in action. How often do we get to see them go toe to toe?
The fights are 24/7, 7 days a week.
I also
Sounds
Sounds like a
of the-
paradise to me.
We have night fight as well for our nocturnal viewers.
I brought along a few fans of combat. I guess I should say
I
connoisseurs.
see. And this must be Gizmek. And he like walks up to you and he like puts his like hand out in like the, two muscular men like holding hands.
Yeah! Grabs his hand as hard as possible and grips it.
Yeah. And both of your guys' like muscles like bulge out of your respective outfits. And he has like a big grin on his face. You can tell when you're gripping him, like he's definitely genetically modified in some way.
He's one of them fancy humans,
He's
is ya?
way stronger than a normal human. He's not like a space marine. Like Braum like fucking towers over him. But he's definitely like not a puny human. And he does like the same like super strong handshake to Saphar, who I assume just like wilts in its presence.
It's just that, like, that squeaking noise as his hands like bottom get crushed and he's yanked forward.
Sator
He's
just
about as tall as Sator, so the two of you like look eye to eye.
Yeah.
And
I try my
Sator
best to keep my composure.
He doesn't seem to be like affected by any of your guys' like mutations or aliens. The honor guard that are with him are very uncomfortable, but he's not.
Nice.
Also, Sator just handshakes him with his power fist, obviously.
Nice. So there's like electricity like arcing around you as you grip it.
It's also like a really awkward handshake because it's also a right hand, but it's on his left side.
Yeah.
Oh God. What?
Yeah, his left hand, the bionic hand for his right hand, because it was installed by me in a drunken
That's
escapade.
right. It's upside down.
It has a thing which can spin around, but very slowly.
I keep forgetting about that.
Yep.
You keep some.
There's a reason we keep reminding you.
You keep some strange and excellent company, sir. And he like tips his hat at Holtz and says, "If you come this way, we can get to a skimmer and we can see this battle in progress. Hopefully, we get there before it's over."
Indeed. I hope you don't mind, but I brought some excellent commentary professionals along. I gestured to both Gizmek and the Space Marine, Victor Braum.
The Guild of Commentators would take offense to that, so we'll just let them do their thing.
I see.
You follow me. And he like takes you down a couple of gangways. There's a it kind of looks like a skimmer from like Return of the Jedi. It's got like a open top. It's got like winged sails. And
Now
like,
this is pod racing.
and it's got like a big like smokestack on the back, and it's like churning like some foul black smoke out the back of the skimmer. And it like its way out of the city. It takes a while to fly. It's pretty slow. It's also very loud. But it is nice to see like views of the city from above. Obviously, if you like look way down, things look pretty fucking dismal down there.
Yeah.
But in the higher parts, you can see like well-to-do people, like like in like a mall district where they're like shopping for guns or dusters or whatever the hell the gangers do.
Yep.
I'm just seeing like a ganger and like just think of like gangers with their multicolored mohawks, just with a shopping cart and like elevator.
Yeah, I mean,
music
there's the definite haves and have-nots that you see as you travel. And
Necromarch.
You scale the wall that separates the city from the outside, and the weather immediately takes a shift. It becomes even windier and dustier, as there's like nothing to stop wind. Like there's no like trees or anything, so it just sort of builds up. Like the weather on this planet is just like brutal. Probably why these hive cities are like so walled off. And yeah, so it travels over this like scale rock, and eventually you hear the sounds of fighting, and the skimmer comes around like a valley wall, and there's two knights fighting in a valley, like over like an old riverbed. It looks like.
So like while we're like on the way, I would have had like Holtz would have probably like inquired about like the rules and the scoring and whatnot.
Yeah, so the commissioner is willing to like give you all that information. The idea is that like once a knight household has received a certain percentage of the ground, and has defended it for a certain amount of time, then they are like a finalist, and they go forward to the primaries where there's like a big battle royale. But there needs to be enough of those to trigger, and there's only and apparently no one's made it to the primaries yet.
I see.
He says, now typically one of our knight houses is significantly stronger than the others, and they take the whole tournament very quickly. But this year, he says this year, but he really means like this season. This season, the front runner, their master died of some circumstance, not important, and they broke apart. So none of the night houses have really had a foot up on each other, which has made the entertainment incredible.
So it typically doesn't last this long.
It hasn't, as far as our records show. But the rules are quite clear.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not one to interfere with tradition all too often, but I have some suggestions. As an outsider, of course, I understand some reservations, but I think you might be interested in this, especially given the strange times that we all find ourselves in. What if, instead of having them all fight all for themselves, well, battles tend to take place through large alliances. Why, myself and Invicta Brahm, despite the fact that we come from two different factions within the Imperium, must fight together. So why not have them all fight in teams?
Oh, they are free to build alliances and
But then they would betray each other at the soonest convenience. And while I admit that has some appeal,
that makes for great TV.
It does. Oh, I imagine. But it also makes slow progress, and it is not indicative of true warfare.
It is not my job as commissioner to make sure that the battles are as fast as possible. It is my job to make sure they are as entertaining as possible.
But don't you think that a massive team battle for the glory of one side over the other is just as glorious?
Oh, it'll be an incredible season finale. I'm sure.
Yeah, in 10 years it's probably due for a season finale.
It's already been planned. The arena, the fact that the masters will not be fighting in their knights but on foot, and the prize.
The prize?
Well,
of course, the master that takes my head from the arena rules the unit.
Oh, for how long? And for how long, pray tell?
Until the next season.
Which is
not for me to decide.
Because you'll be dead.
There's some sort of council of mystics that read the signs and so forth. they're in charge of when the seasons begin and end.
So let's
And what
begin this.
happens if the last contender loses to you?
Then the season will begin all over again. But I'm not to be armed, and so the chances are quite slim, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, that's an interesting outlook you have.
Well, I've been bred and raised my whole life for this position. This is my existence.
Ah, so he's like a grot. That must say.
With how things are currently going, how longer do you expect to take until the this season could end?
Well, none of the factions have made any headway against each other, but some are running low on resources, and so they'll slowly back out, and so the territories will expand. I expect within the next 2 decades, this fight will be over.
Okay, there's enough.
But
Gizmek just sort of like stands up straight and walks over to this gentleman and just like wraps his arm around his shoulder, buddy like.
Listen here. You've got all these knights doing this tournament here. Doing the tourney is all nice and fine for your me tradition. But the problem is, as far as I've been told, these knights, their job is to protect the people. Isn't that where they came from, right? Right?
Their job is to provide service to the Imperium at large, even if the Imperium at large has frankly ceased to exist.
Well,
I
it
can
has
assure you.
it has re-existed now, hence why we're even here in the first place. You need to get these people out of this and back to doing their jobs, or they will dishonor themselves within the name of your Imperium.
Are they being called by their...
Yes, you owe
Navy
tithes!
masters?
Didn't you hear the get?
Well, if I'm sure if a guard admiral or navy admiral appeared and asked us to go to war, the knights would be able to put their differences aside and go.
You have a
It would
rogue
require
trader
quite the
that's higher
individual.
than that.
I also brought along one of his angels. I believe if they won't listen to me,
that.
perhaps.
And he like,
Adeptus Astartes.
yeah, he gave him like a handshake back at the landing pad,
Astartes.
and he says, "I'm afraid not even one of the Emperor's angels has the right to call a night house to war. It would need to be what is it? He like snapping his finger, some sort of chapter master of some sort."
I'm like leaning back to like Invictor Brown was like, "Do you have the authority to speak for your chapter master so far away?"
Yeah, he like whispers in your ear. He's like, I am but a sergeant of a kill team. I do not have that power. That is
I see.
That is a ritualistic circumstance.
Righty, I got your proposal.
I have one personal worry about this tournament. So it has been going on for a decade, yes?
Of course.
And none of the houses has been making any significant progress yet.
Some were close. They are within a few territory grabs of at least,
You estimate 2 more decades. We're not going to call that the close that we're talking about.
If nothing else changes within this tournament soon, the populace could grow restless as the tournament will just be the same old battles happening over and over again.
Except we've seen the opposite.
Yes, I was about to say, like they've literally done the opposite.
With
Yeah.
improvements to the commentary from the commentaries guild and improvements from the broadcast. This is the first tournament that's been broadcast system wide, you know.
Looking
Whose idea was it to broadcast system wide anyway?
Say it again?
Whose idea was it to broadcast system wide anyway?
Well, mine, of course.
Of course.
We have the technology.
Looking through the rules, like what are like? Can only the night houses participate?
Yeah, you have to be part of like the original like contract to like build a night house. But like the rules for building a night house and being part of the contract are like open. So you could if you had some nights, you could have your own quote unquote night house if you wanted.
Yeah, but we don't have nights, so
I mean,
like,
you
We
could
don't have one. Not yet.
I can get us knights.
Things
could.
can
I mean,
happen.
what about like supporting a night house from orbit?
there aren't any like in the rule book of like outside influences.
I
But,
should there's some leeway and loopholes there.
Yeah, I mean there's definitely like it's imperial bureaucracy, so there's like loopholes all over the place.
Yeah.
Like roles to find them and stuff. But
All right. Yeah,
you could
I got
nuke
an
a couple
idea.
of knights from orbit if you wanted to. I'm sure. Although
you
I
want-
don't know if the night houses that you did that to would be happy with you.
Well,
Giz-
I mean, I
Giz-
would make it fair. They'd have to earn my support.
Gizmek at this point just like grabs the collar of Holtz, Marius, and Saphar and just like walks
Yes,
a few
Marius,
steps
not
away.
Sator. I just
Of
randomly
Sator.
appear in
I
the
drag you out from your computer into the world.
Hey, you're not soot.
Just shoves you back. Yeah, so he grabs Holtz, Sator, and Saphar and drags you guys away. He's just like,
So we're gonna start doing like, what's the Yumi word for it? Sabotaging?
I think I was going to use the word encouragement. We're going to encourage them to finish
So
their job.
sabotage, let's go.
Ooh.
Gizmek
I'm
walks
in.
back up. Gizmek walks back up to the gentleman, and he says,
Where's the nearest night house that you think has a good shot of winning this whole thing?
Well, as commissioner, I'm supposed to keep a neutral perspective, but there are a few that are
Statistically,
approaching
at
primary
least.
status. One of them is currently in this battle that we're traveling to. You can see them fight firsthand if you'd like.
Alrighty.
Gizmek walks
And
back to the group.
this is when the skimmer like comes around the wall, and you see two knights of a different design than the others that were fighting. This is like the old Cerestus design knights, and they have giant electric lances and like huge shields that are like visible, and they're like charging at each other like lancing style, where they just like charge at each other, smash into each other's shields, go past each other, and the whole battlefield is like filled with like scrap and pieces of the knights, because they're all like they've damaged each other pretty significantly. The sound is incredible when they like meet each other. It literally like blasts like a sonic boom out of the canyon, and you can see like rocks and things like fly in every direction when they smash into each other. The first time it happens, one of you almost falls off the side of the skimmer.
I volunteer Sator to be the one that falls off the side.
Fair.
But you managed to, whichever one of you it is, manages to grab the handrail and steady themselves. Yeah, so you see these two lancers going at each other.
Interesting.
The one there in the white with the red lightning bolts. That's the house that's currently doing the best.
What's
Interesting.
that called?
House of Vortex.
House of Vortex.
Well, they got red. I'm in.
Oh, come now, Gizmek. If we're going to provide,
Hey, if they got red, they're gonna have the quickest victory.
well, let's make them earn it at least. That's all I'm saying.
At this point, Saphar's gonna basically lean over to Gizmek. He's like, "I'm going to need a specification on the color magic that your people are prone to."
What? You don't know?
Red things go faster.
Red things go
Obviously.
faster, yellow things boom more, black things are harder. You never seen a purple orc now, has you?
It's that Saphar just sort of like looks over his shoulder, just starts looking around.
Exactly.
Good
And
point.
blue makes you luckier. Green is the best, though.
Saphar also realizes that Sator is wearing purple.
Oh,
You guys see another skimmer like appear in the distance, and the commissioner goes, "Ah, the commentators are here."
this has just recontextualized Saphar's entire view of the world. His mind is blown. Like, he's just looking at everything and analyzing its color. Like,
Next time he finds a banana, he's just like, is this going to explode?
yeah.
Saphar is going to wonder if he's now slower because his red isn't red anymore in blood.
So Holtz will, like, as the commentators show up, is like Holtz will go up to the commissioners like, no, I understand that you have a duty to make things as entertaining as possible. Could I perhaps offer a twist this season? Essentially, an opportunity for them to receive orbital assistance. But if they succeed in accomplishing an objective in a certain time frame, my ship will bombard any one location that they request. It will ensure that they leave their territories and take risks on the battlefield. A high risk, high reward situation. It will also ensure that there will be many more exciting battles, and provide an interesting, unique twist that will likely not be replicated in seasons to come.
Yes, third-party contracts are a part of the fight. Normally in this form of gear and goods and special weapons, but yes, orbital bombardments too. That is a good idea. I shall have to put it forth to the Rules Council to write it properly, but I'm sure they will get right on it.
Oh no, Commissioner. There aren't any rules against it, are there?
He shrugs and he says, "Well, I guess not, but it's not going to be standardized, and so don't know how the public will approve."
I think we have our ways of getting our approval across. I have a
It's
way
gonna
that
be a
works.
fun blasting.
Besides,
Well, if you're willing to put forth the armaments of your vessel to improve the
Spectacle.
spectacle, yes, thank you, the spectacle of the thing, then I guess we have an accord. He puts his hand forth towards you.
Holtz is still wearing power armor, so he accepts the hand.
Yeah, and then he's squeezes it very strongly, but you manage to not hurt yourself because you're using a power armor.
Yep.
And he says, "With that, then I shall take you over to the commentators, and I'm sure they're gonna have an interview for you." And you pip it, and then claps to the pilot, and the pilot zips the skimmer over to the commentators skimmer. So while you're going over there, one of the lancers smashes the other in the face, the white one with the red lightning bolts, cleaving the other knight in two. And there's like a sound. There's like the sound of wrecked metal, and you can hear like the "Did you see that?" from the commentator skimmer as you get close. And you see him. He's a large man, very fat. He's got like a imperial royal sort of jacket on. And he's got like a big he's got like a big servo skull that follows him around that has like a giant camera attached to it. And he's currently at like the front of the skimmer. He's perched precariously over the ledge. And he's talking about House Vortex and all their recent wins. And he puts his like hand to his ear and he says, "I'm getting news that we have a new contender in the system, a Captain Holtz, who will be providing some additional spectacle for you folks. Yes, there he is now." And like the servo skull like floats over to your guys' skimmer, and like gets real close to your face, Holtz, and starts to like snap pictures at you.
Holtz is so fun fact. Holtz grew up on a hive world, but the unique thing about this hive world was that it was like very close. It was on the very close side of the habitable zone of the system, which meant that like all of the houses were like glass. So like he's used to like everyone like seeing everything that he's doing. It's like the one thing that he's actually prepared for.
Yeah, so you're ready for the paparazzi. So that's what he gives you. And the guy, like, for his size, seems to move with a surprising nimbleness and leaps from the skimmer over to yours, to like smuggle up close to you next to the camera. And yeah, like he gives you like the fifth degree. Like he gives you like a real like interview. Like, "So you say you're from another, hive world or whatever?" And then he says, "And these fine folks are visitors from the Greater Imperium, which we have not seen heard a word from for much a time."
Yes, the times are a-changing. And in light of these times, I propose a twist to the usual routine of the of this season. In fact,
You tell.
oh yes, I've been recently very impressed with House Vortex's recent victory, and I wish to reward him with an opportunity. If he can defend this skimmer that I am currently aboard for the next 24 hours, I will have my ship bombard any one location of his choosing.
Oh my god!
However, if
the viewer looks at you with super wide eyes.
However, if another night house were to claim this skimmer, they will have the opportunity to inflict a bombardment of their choosing. This skimmer must remain intact, otherwise my ship will bombard the entire planet.
Saphar is hearing this, and his jaw is on the floor because they were not fucking consulted. He's just thinking, "Dear God, please let this be a bluff."
Yeah, the commissioner like his jaw drops, but he's like super into it. He's like super excited. He's like, "A man putting his own life, a man from outside of the system putting his own life towards our tournament. What an incredible change of events!"
If the
Now
knights,
that's entertainment.
I believe the knights are up to the task of protecting a rogue trader house. Surely the one that succeeds in defending him the longest will have the greatest reward. After all, my ship is currently the only one capable of traveling through the Dark Imperium.
Well, in that case, if that is your plan, then all of us should disemboard to this other skiff here, and we'll see what happens. And he like gets real close to the camera. He says that.
Gizmek like grabs the camera, he's doing it, and just like brings it up to his face, looking square at it with like the biggest shit-eating grin. And he's just like,
Now you best get fighting, you kids!
Gizmek.
Oh,
I
and
do
I
have
like the
another-
camera too.
Gizmek, I also have another twist involving you. Do you want to get your new toy out and play a little bit?
Oh yeah, let's go.
I,
Are the mini knights the size of Gizmek's Death
No,
Dread?
the mini knights are going to be much bigger than my Death Dread.
All right.
Yeah.
Because the Death Dread is still just about
So yeah, so the commissioner and the interviewer jump over to the other skiff, and anybody that wants to come with them is welcome to.
Is Holtz going to?
Holtz
Holtz is staying
volunteered. Yeah, Holtz volunteered this whole thing.
So Holtz
You can see a little bit of fear in the eyes of the interviewer as he like looks at the other skiff.
Yeah. Okay, so Saphar would sort of pony up to everyone else. He says, so, in regards to the plans for sabotage, Holtz, I hope you know what the hell you're doing, but in regards to the sabotage, how do we proceed?
I trust that you'll be able to figure something out. As in, you are free to do whatever the hell you want.
Saphar's a bit torn. He's like, he has two plans. He's like, all right, I'll run this by you. And yes, this is one of the few times I might just actually ask advice. Would you rather I go in with some sort of multi-tool and start maybe popping out bits and baubles of whatever vehicle I come upon? Or should I maybe just start sticking grenades in between the joints of some of these hulking behemoths?
Either way, it is your neck that's being risked. Whatever you can get away with. Perhaps one time you take away bits and bobs. Perhaps another time you use grenades. You don't have to use the same tactics for every battle. You just need to make sure the dice stay alive.
Yeah. Saphar just sort of, he hops up, gives him a little salute, you leave it to me. He and makes a beeline to the artery to essentially fill a pack or something with as many melt bombs and crack grenades as he can, as well as grabbing like a couple multi-tools.
Yeah, so why are you guys like grabbing your stuff to evacuate the skimmer if you're going to? You all hear like a high-pitched whine. You look up and you see like a bracket of missiles sort of coming in your general direction. And you hear like another like crash as the enormous Lancer jumps in between the missiles and the skimmers, and the missiles explode off of his shield.
Holtz like golf claps.
We gotta get out of here. This is gonna get hairy real quick.
Holtz just golf claps.
Yeah.
Sator is just thinking in his head if he wants to try to teleport into someone's Titan and murder them inside, and 2, if after that he wants to try to fucking control one.
I would not recommend that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like the machine spirit would kill you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll just be like, you literally killed my driver, what the fuck?
Yeah, because that's the thing. Knights are they're not inert beings. They are kind of alive in a sense.
So yeah, do you guys like rush over to the other skimmer? Do you guys stay? Like, what's the deal?
I'm basically telling this.
Like, I know Holtz is standing there, but like everyone else
Yeah.
has like an opportunity to leave right now if they want.
You guys go and do shit.
Yeah. I mean, Sator could just stay in the skimmer and then hide himself in a corner and fucking teleport somewhere else.
And if you want to stay, that's fine. It's just this is the last chance GM wise that you're going to be able to take off if you want.
I'm also telling you guys to go do shit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to stay with me.
Sator can just do shit by the thing is that Sator could be sneaky about doing shit because he can just teleport somewhere else, and that's what I'm debating.
I mean, you can do that too. Yeah.
because it's like, oh, no one will suspect the navigator disappearing from the fucking.
Yeah, we
the
kind
thing
of do
that
need
everyone is
you.
supposed to.
Kind of also like super important shit.
Anyway, I mean, what would you do here? Because I'm not
I'm
fucking sure.
You're probably like slightly more important than I am by virtue of being the only navigator that knows how to operate the ship.
Yeah,
So you probably need to stay safe.
fair enough. Sator will go and also be safe, even though he might still try to think about how to mess with things.
Yeah.
Okay, so if everybody's staying with Holtz, the commissioner and the interviewer are gonna start floating away.
I think Sator's leaving.
Okay, so Kroner will also
Saphar.
Saphar will also get on that skimmer and do random stuff in the background
Gotcha.
Yeah.
because he's got to go.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then yeah,
Just every so often, you just see me running like hell across the sands, like running for my fucking life, hopping
I think
onto the legs
the
of
commissioner
knights.
like takes you back to the main spire, and you guys have like dinner or something. Like it's a very nice time.
Gizmek is just having dinner because he's waiting for his
Well, he's hanging out. So does the Death Dread have like a delivery mechanism? Because at the moment, like there's no way
The
to
best,
get it.
it would be almost the equivalent of a drop pod at this point.
Okay, so you've got like some sort of orky drop pod that you've made
Oh yeah,
for your thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
that is
That's fine.
100% a guarantee of what something Gizmek would do.
Yeah, I'll have you make like a tech test to see how the drop pod does in terms of landing conditions. But yeah, you give the command up to orbit, and we see like an orky looking turret on the outset of the ship turn towards the planet and fire the death turret directly to the planet. Boom. Yeah, so there'll be a complication of some sort with that.
Oh, lovely.
But
Probably
that is
just like-
successful. So you will have your
Yeah,
death dread available. It might take a while to show up or something, and that's what the complication.
It might be in the middle of a battle. We'll see.
Yeah. So there's like a fight happening in the distance. You
Real
see
quick, just for
the-
those listening, the tech test was 6 successes and a complication.
Yeah. You can actually float the 6 and get a glory for it as well if you want.
All right, I'll do that.
Meanwhile, Holtz is also giving like potential advice to would-be contestants for Holtz's favor. And also pointing out that if you assist House Vortex in keeping him secure, he would be less inclined to blow you to smithereens.
You would exempt yourself from the list of possibilities.
Yes, exactly.
You are
like,
encouraging people
we
to
have
work
like
with House Vortex.
a sort of forewarning moment, as you can see, sort of the dust begin to gather in clouds in a circle on the horizon around the skimmer. As House Vortex goes toe to toe with one of the normal Dominus Knights with like a missile rack up at on his head. And like it's Lance v Chainsword, and they're like smashing around the landscape. But you can see in the distance, like things are coming. Even the like pilot of your guys' skimmer like jumped off onto the other one, and the skimmer flew away. So your skimmer's just sort of floating there.
I can drive this.
Holtz just kind of giggles and just like sits down, buckles in as soon as Gizmek says that.
Yeah, it accelerates like a steakhouse, and it like handles like a bistro, you know?
Nice.
Sounds about right to me. Let's go.
Just like
So where
matches
is
the
everyone
acceleration
again?
to max.
Sator, you are back at the commissioner's like palace. Essentially,
You're in a
having
safe
dinner.
place. We're on the skimmer in the middle of this shit.
Yeah, he's like invited you back up to aspire to watch from safety.
I don't know where Invictor Brown went. I wouldn't.
Probably
It's
up to
him.
you.
Okay.
Probably
It's up to-
escort Sator.
Yeah, he's probably more valuable.
Yeah, so
Like-
he's escorting Sator and keeping you safe, I guess.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that all the NPCs are there. Like Pippi also. Like, do you want her to be there or?
Pippi would
Back
be
up
with
to
me,
Commissioner's
probably
Palace or
just
whatever?
like dancing around the deck or something.
Okay, cool.
Inside the skimmer.
Wanderer's probably shouting in my ear in the box, like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I mean, I think Wanderer is still up on the ship, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like in the box, just like shouting in my ear.
Sir, I have received disturbing news from the broadcast. What would you like your tombstone to say?
It was worth it.
I imagined Holtz's response is, "We've already talked about this.
This entire
Call
planet
me
is my grave.
It better say the gangsta ass boss, or you're fired."
The entire fucking planet is going to be Holtz's grave if he dies.
Oh, and make sure that if I die, the entire planet gets bombarded to smithereens.
Already locked and loaded, sir.
Don't blow up my
Uh,
diff dread.
Yeah, so this is like that part of like the TV show where they just don't have the budget to show how epic things are, so they're just like showing somebody watching the thing that's happening and like describing how epic it is.
It's like the fucking Wojak meme. They're pointing at
But
it like
it's
an
like
experiment.
a picture out of of the Imperial Knights like codex. Like there's knights of all different colors and shapes and sizes, and they're fucking just destroying each other.
Nice.
Like it's a grand fucking melee. That's insane.
And
So
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I
need you
wanted.
to make some checks to like not die in this insane melee, as you know, like fucking weapons the size of buildings are being fired at each other. So we're gonna need like a hard pilot test from Gizmek.
All right.
What's your pilot?
Let's see. 3.
It's gonna be like difficulty 4 for nothing bad to happen, but it'll be like scaled up to that.
My pilot skill is actually 4.
I
Check
mean,
your
I
stats and what you-
yoinked the wheels, but if you like tell him to get aside, he probably will.
check your
say-
stats and what you have in there just in case, because roll
Yeah,
twenties
I
are
have
top of it.
pilot. I have pilot.
Yeah, if you have pilot 4, Gizmek basically hands you the wheel, and I would say use the glory for this.
Yeah, I'm going to use the glory for this. So, please don't fuck. All right, gonna spend a
All
wrath.
right, and there's a wrath for 3 of them.
At least it's not a
Need 2 more
complication.
successes.
Uh,
Hey, we got 2 more successes.
Yeah,
Exactly
4
4.
successes.
Okay, so nothing immediately bad happens as you jackknife back and forth along this sort of this like old riverbed valley to avoid the just fire and like bullets and volcano lances and you fucking name it, flying in every fucking direction. There's like halves of knights being like cut apart and like falling into the ravine, and you have to like dodge to the side as the knight like carapace like falls past you and like hits the ground nearby and explodes.
I would like to interrupt for half a moment, use a wrath glory to make wrath point to make a narrative declaration, if you'll allow me.
Sure. What is it?
All right, Gizmek, every single time like one of these big wrecks falls down nearby him, he pulls out like this tiny little capsule that he's concocted. They're basically beacons that he has, that he throws at said giant piles of scrap to collect them later.
And there's a lot of fucking just immediate murder surrounding you.
Holtz and Gizmek are probably laughing their asses off as they, jackknife through literal death everywhere.
No, right.
It's fucking scary as shit. And the camera is like following this, it's pumping out like all this black smoke into the back of it as it putters along at a hilariously slow pace. And you have to when you make these turns in the river valley, you have to do the go sideways thing, and you almost fall off the side a couple of times. At some point, you see a meteor come down from the sky and slam into the river valley in front of you, and you recognize your Death Dread is on a drop pod platform on the ground.
Drop me out there.
So you jump down to it and start to buckle in. When you see from behind you, two Melta spears almost hit the skimmer. The skimmer has to evade to the side real quick as these Melta spears punch into the rock, and you see two armigers come walking up towards Gizmek in his Death Dread. One peels off to go after the skimmer, and the other one goes into a fighting stance. It's chainsaw revving wildly.
Well, here we go.
You can almost see the pilot's eyes through the little porthole in the roof of it as it leans down to go into a fighting stance.
You want to have a scrap?
There's a back and forth between Gizmek's eyes and this pilot's eyes from the camera. And then they race at each other, spinning their arms around, trying to cut at each other. So, give me a. Do you want to shoot at it as you run in and then?
Oh yeah, that's the orky thing to do.
You got rockets and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do a contested ballistic skill test between you and this other pilot, and whoever wins gets the shot off, I guess.
Hey, I'm not known for having good ballistic skill. My weapon skill is much better, so this is probably gonna fail.
You might just want to try to.
You're going to do that anyway, and then we'll have a contested weapon skill fight in the middle.
You might just want to try to block his shot or something.
Okay, so
suppressive fire or something.
Yeah, I get 2 successes out of a 3, so that's better than I probably expected. Oh, he only got 2 successes, so it's an even.
You guys have a Matrix moment where you dive at each other shooting, and all your rockets go flying past him. His Melta beams go flying past you, hitting the wall, scraping, big boulders come falling down. One of your rockets flies in a weird random pattern out of the ravine and hits another armiger on the other side of the map and blows it up. You don't even know. You don't even know that you did that. And yeah, so then you guys land, and then you both realize you're in meleeing each other, and both of you activate your specific you get your buzzsaw. He's got his chainsaw.
Mine would probably be a chainsaw again too, considering it was on the last one. It's this long chainsaw arm, and the other one is
so you don't have
a power lifter claw.
Death Dread buzzsaw. You got a chainsaw.
Yeah, he flavors it how he likes.
Okay, so yeah, it'll have sparks will fly as the chainsaws are going at each other. So we'll do a contested weapon skill test. I know it's not normally how this goes, but if we just roll into each other, we're both going to kill each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not interesting. I'd rather have a contested.
Oh shit! I'm going to use my other wrath to re-roll the die there. That's 4 success. Actually, I'm going to wait for. Would you allow me to wait for his roll as well?
I mean, technically, I'm supposed to tell you what the difficulty is first, so let me roll first, and then I'll let you know the difficulty, and then
yeah. Well, I mean, in this case, the difficulty is the contested.
Right, you can reroll if you need to. So let's see what that is.
I don't think they have 9d6, so you have a pretty decent chance. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they get 3 successes.
And I'm going to use a rune.
I got one more.
Roll as well.
All right.
To make it even more complicated.
You get
Even more ones.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, so okay, so
Damn.
1, 2, 3,
Okay,
4,
I might
5,
want-
6,
What's that?
7.
Seven difficulty.
Fuck.
So 1,
So I
2,
went
you
from
have 6.
4 to 6. So he beats me by 1.
Yeah, so he beats you by 1, so that means he's not going to get like a big hit on you. So
I
it'll
also
be like
used a wrath, by the way.
a glancing hit. And yeah, use. Okay, cool. So yeah, so he like hits you back with his chainsword and like brings his Melta lance up, real quick, and fires. And it sort of like arcs a line, and it like, I think it like cuts off one of your like melee arms. So your Death Dread takes, I don't know, like a quarter of its health and damage or something.
Oi! I'm going after a planet!
Yeah, and you see when it like lands, like all orc tech, like when it's like merged,
Not
with
connected
the
to orc.
Death Dread, it's like put together well and like works. The moment it falls off and hits the ground, it just explodes into like 1,000 bolts and nuts and shit, and duct tape and string.
Gizmek's angry.
And yeah, so he's gonna like, go back to a fighting stance and rev. Meanwhile, we have Holtz being chased by this other one, firing repeatedly. So I'm gonna make a ballistic skill test, and you're gonna go against it with your piloting skill.
Okay.
To try to avoid this thing shooting at you.
All right. Please roll terrible. I beg you.
Yeah, so he's going to shoot 2 different weapons at you. So we're going to do 2 different contested tests. One of them he's better at shooting because it's easier to hit because it's a rapid fire weapon or whatever.
Gotcha.
So this is going to be the Meltagun, which is the one you really want to avoid.
Okay.
So that's going to be 3 successes.
All right. I don't have any glory to pull out, so
You
Yeah.
have some wrath to fall back on, but I hope you just
Yeah.
don't need it.
Yeah. Also, a request that you allow, so that Saphar can still do something significant. We can use his 2 wrath that he has to say that he does something.
Well, I was going to keep the board as it is for next episode anyway.
All right.
okay.
So,
I mean,
Yeah,
it also depends on how this will end. So we'll
So
see.
Roll your piloting.
Before he took the shot, I didn't really have a chance to say that. Could I have like gone on speaker and just like distracted him with like a persuasion test or anything like that, or like a just like
I don't
reminder?
think he can hear you at all.
Okay, that's fine.
I
In
don't
that
believe
case,
they have like microphones or whatever on the outside of their mechs. So I think they can only talk to each other.
gotcha. Reroll.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
probably a
God.
good idea.
Melta.
Okay. So again, it's gonna be like a glancing hit because he only got like 1 more than you.
Okay.
So yeah, so the Melta lance like sears off a section of the skimmer, and the skimmer like vastly like turns and like starts to head into the cliff wall. You can like try to jump free, or you could try to like pilot to avoid smashing into the cliff wall, basically.
I mean, my athletics is probably worse than my pilot. Is worse than my pilot, so I gotta try and pilot this.
Okay, so it's gonna be difficulty 3 again, to not smash into the cave wall.
Okay. Hey, but I get a complication.
3 and a complication.
Okay, so the deal with the complication is that you still hit the cave wall, but you manage to like right the ship, but like there's like sparks flying, and so those sparks sort of like get in your face, and you're gonna take some mortal wounds.
I can resist mortal wounds.
You're gonna take 3 mortal wounds.
I'm going to roll. What is it?
Determination, which is your toughness.
I'm gonna roll tough. I ignore one of them.
Okay, so you take 2 mortal wounds.
You get 1 fatigue
and
or whatever.
your vision's gonna be like very blurry for a moment, so you're gonna have +1 difficulty to all your tests for a while.
Hey.
And then the the armiger is going to open fire with his heavy stubber on the top. So this is going to be less damaging if it hits you, but he's going to have more dice to roll. And you're also +1 because of the your vision.
Yep.
Holy crap!
1, 2,
Seven
3, 4,
successes.
5, 6, 7, 8.
And a crit too. So we're just gonna have him lock on and fucking fire with his heavy stubber. It's gonna go straight up the engine pipe of your skimmer, and it's gonna like explode, and you're gonna get thrown to the rocks. So I need you to make like an athletics check to like land with grace.
I guess I got a
Nice.
6.
Yeah, we'll give you glory, and that's 2 successes. I think that should be enough to at least like roll when you hit the ground. You take 1 mortal wound from that ball.
Okay, I'm gonna try and. I
You do, but
succeed.
I
there
don't know if you
complications
can
with
even
those rolls?
get an actual complication for this.
No,
I
there's
don't
no
think-
there's no wrath die for those types of tests. So,
And I'm going to use gallows humor to try and get rid of my shot.
yeah, so you like land on your back, and it's like hard rock, so it fucking hurts, even through your power armor.
So
And you feel your bones get rattled, your brain is rattled. You've got like your vision is blurred. Do you have like a power armor helmet that you're wearing as well?
yes.
Okay, so like
yeah.
instead of like it actually like damaging your face, it like it's got like a scratch mark on like the glass or whatever, so it's hard to see through it. That's how I'm gonna do that narratively.
So his gallows humor is like, man, I'm going to have to get this touched up. Do you know how hard I worked for this thing? And
Yeah, you say that as you like coughing as you like try to get to your feet.
it's a fellowship.
Something
Yeah.
I have to do
I do not succeed.
on the
Man.
field. Okay, so you don't recover any shock. So you're like shaking a bit as you stand up. We're gonna go see what Sator's up to. Sator, you're
So
watching
all
your
of-
captain get smashed on the field.
Yeah. All of this is happening, and Sator is watching fucking Gizmek and
Holtz, you've got like
doing.
3 servo skulls like orbiting around you, like taking pictures of you as you like stand up from the rock.
No, Sator while drinking was probably the fucking
Yeah,
most
so you've got a
hype-
glass of Amnesec in your hand.
Yeah.
Friggin', and Victor Brom is also joining you in the drink. He's got this like very worried look on his face. And the commissioner has got like a bottle of Amnesec in his hand, and he's like screaming in excitement.
Also, I suppose that we can watch what's happening on like data slates and such, right?
I mean, you're seeing it on the big screen. He's got
Yeah.
like a big ass screen in his office. That he's sort of pulled up chairs in front of. And Victor Brom
well-
is standing, obviously, because he would just destroy any chair he tried to
Yeah.
sit in.
What was this guy's name again?
You just know him as the commissioner.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Well, Commissioner, what do you think about the current going of things?
We haven't had a battle like this in years. It's incredible. Look right there. You can almost see the pain in his eyes through his power armor. It's incredible.
Well, of
to feel
course.
alive.
And what do you think of the current goings on, Brom? Or Victor Brom?
Like he's barely keeping it together. You can see like the Amnesec in his glass like shaking as he like brings it up to his lips and like takes a sip.
He's just trying to ignore what's happening by getting himself drunk, but he's also a space marine.
Yeah, so he really can't. And he just says, "I'm sure the captain knows what he's doing. I think he has some sort of plan. I'm sure."
Oh, trust me, Holtz always has a plan.
We'll cut back to Gizmek fighting for his life. Do you jump back and shoot, or do you like jump forward and try and melee this guy?
Oh, I'm
again?
better at melee. Much better at
Yeah,
melee.
so you guys are close enough that you can just jump in. Go ahead and roll weapon skill against this guy. Oh, I'm going to give you the difficulty first. Hold on.
All right.
You got to beat
only 2.
2. I'm going to use another ruin.
Bastard.
Yeah.
No. No, I'm the worst.
Oh my god, you're actually.
On the bright
using
side,
your
he
special
doesn't
skills.
get to if he keeps the board state as is, he doesn't get to keep the ruin. So
No
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
Damn.
Oh man, he's not doing good. So he trips
I
on
get
the guard.
3 successes and a complication, so I beat him, but with a
successes.
complication.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
4 successes, yeah.
Go ahead and roll damage into this guy.
I don't really
what
have
the fuck
anything for
damage
the
would it be? It'd be
chainsword,
like an
yeah.
insane number. So we're just gonna narratively say, so you only beat him by.
And I'm fighting on.
So you do get like a significant hit. So go ahead and narrate like a significant hit that doesn't quite destroy him.
So
And then also,
So what
like,
I'm thinking, I have a suggestion for both what I managed to do and the complication it causes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Gizmek whirls up. So the arm that got cut off earlier, chainsaw arm, it was the like power lifter arm because he wanted something reminiscent of his old Death Dread because it had like a power lifter on it, and that got cut off and slapped aside and burst into a million pieces. So with his chainsaw arm, he whips back around and he goes past, like he just basically like through his anger propels the Death Dread to cut through the other guy's chainsaw guard and cut off his chainsaw arm. But in doing so, the way he does it, his chainsaw gets jammed on the other guy's chainsaw, which is now completely free of his body, and his chainsaw is now jammed.
Okay, so both of you damage your melee weapons. Yours isn't cut into
Mine
pieces.
is still
like his.
attached to my body, but it's not like as
no
functional
longer
as a chainsaw.
spinning. Yeah. So it's no longer.
Yeah.
So you can hear it like the engine like cut out and like start to flood with fuel. And you can see it like the fuel like dripping like down the side of the chainsaw as it floods out.
Stop making me repair, girl.
And yeah, so you shoot through him, and in doing so, he spins the top mount on the top of his armature, and points the meltagun like down on you. So he's going to make a ballistic skill test, and you're going to have to avoid it.
All right. What am I going to use for avoiding this? Pilot?
You can either use. I think you should probably use pilot in this case. Like he would be using his like dexterity to avoid, but you've got like actual like devices you have to move.
I mean, you could argue for.
Can I do
difficulty
pilot
3
based on?
pilot test?
Can I do what attribute for pilot?
In
What or what?
army, I don't know.
What
Normally,
attribute should I roll? Agility.
Agility.
Still? All right.
Pilot is normally.
you have a
agility.
glory if you really feel like you need it. It's only 3. It's only 3. But
I'd rather not get my Death Dread that fucked up, so I'm going to use the glory.
all right.
I'm just going to add the modifier into this roll, so it's included. So I have pilot 3 plus 1 for glory,
Man,
and I can't re-roll that.
Yeah. So the Melta spears through your Death Dread. I'm going to need you to make like an athletics check to like bail out.
I succeed that.
You say super succeed
looks-
that. You get a glory as
yeah,
well.
it's 5.
You want to shift a glory.
Yeah, I'll shift for a glory.
And yeah, so the Melta lance goes right through the engine block, and you unbuckle and jump out of the Death Dread, and it just like explodes behind you.
I immediately charge to climb onto his knight. Or
Okay,
whatever
so
it is.
you turn around and you like jump on his leg. He tries to like shake you off. Give me one more athletics check, difficulty like 4. To like climb up the side of him.
All right. God
Nice.
damn.
That soon
Nice.
was a 4.
So
Get
he,
kicked
he,
in the
he
ass.
manages to shake you off, and you smash into the rock. You're gonna take 1 mortal wound.
Do I have
and
the same
the-
ability to try and just like shift that to?
Yeah, you can roll
Yes,
determination. Yeah.
no. You have to have a power field to ignore mortal wounds.
I mean,
Right,
Okay,
right,
okay.
right.
But yeah, and you don't have any shock, so
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like a mortal in the sense it's like a psychic power or whatever. It's just I just want to do like damage to you by you hitting a rock. So I'd be okay with you rolling determination on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like a demon tearing through your flesh.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So go ahead and just take a shock instead.
All right. 1 shock.
And yeah, the armiger like leaps back and just points his guns at you. And over the speakers you hear it say, "Surrender! Put your hands up!"
Wow, you always said you wouldn't be shit, hear me?
I try to power claw the gun that's pointed at me.
I mean, he's like, he jumped back, so he's like,
yeah, you're not in melee range anymore.
And
God damn it.
these things
good.
move really fast too. So, speaking of which,
we should probably do Holtz now.
is down the ravine, and these guys' guns pointed at Holtz, and he's also saying, "Put your hands up! We're taking you."
I mean, I wasn't planning on, the idea is that like you either protect me or you try and take me away. So like this is literally part of the game.
Lloyd, House Meridian, and then, like, he like starts to like approach, and a skimmer in the same colors as the armiger like flies down the cliff face. It lands near you, and there's like a couple of like military guys in like they're not in like normal uniforms, they're not in like PDF uniforms, they're in like pit crew uniforms in like the colors of this, the same colors as the skimmer, same color, like they've got their like matching going on, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, they like come forward towards you with like 40k handcuffs, whatever those are.
Those aren't necessary. And I just walk onto the skimmer.
Yeah. And so like the skimmer starts to take off when you see a beam about the size of your body come down the riverbed from in front of you, hit the armiger, and it just cuts him straight in half, like diagonally. And he explodes. And you get thrown forward onto the deck. Everyone does. And the skimmer's like hanging in the air. And you see like the biggest knight you've ever seen come charging down the waterway. It's got these giant guns on its shoulders that are like battleship guns. And it's firing it in your guys' direction as the skimmer tries to get over the edge of the cliff face.
Is it of House of Vortex or another one?
It's some sort of like orange color with like flames on it.
It doesn't matter to Holtz. He's having too much of a good time. He's just
Yeah, and so this House Meridian like skimmer manages to get over the edge just as like this beast of a mech fires. It's like he's got like 4 melted guns on its chin. It fires them up the cliff face, like completely takes out like a whole section of cliff, and like the whole like thing collapses in on the knight, and the knight like falls over under all this like rubble that falls down on it as he's trying to get to you under any circumstance.
Holtz just casually golf claps.
Yeah.
Like this knight like destroys itself trying to get to you. Similarly, Gizmek, a skimmer comes down to like take you into custody, and this is another House Meridian skimmer. They seem to like to capture people, I guess. They're like prepared to like capture pilots and stuff. So they have like these capture crews ready to go. So they pick you up. And
How do they approach the orc?
weapons raised. There's like 5 of them around you pointing guns at you. One of them's got like a big stick with a loop on it to like loop around your neck and like put you down to the ground, and then they're gonna try to like 40K handcuff your hands together.
All
They're
right.
gonna, like, take
So
your
my
power
plan,
claw to do-
my
to do-
plan
to do
as
stuff.
they reach out to me with this fucking loop thing is to grab it with the power claw and crush it.
Okay. They all shoot at you. Are you sure you want to do that? Like the armature shooting, like it's got 3 meltas pointed at you.
Yeah.
No, the guys there have like 3 meltas, or the
The armature
armature
and like
is
the
still
rest
there.
of them also have guns.
Okay. Correction
Yeah.
for how I do this. I would like to attempt to grab this hook and with my power claw and the force of surprise, just drag whoever's carrying it towards me and use them as body shield.
That's not going to stop them.
that's
I know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know, if you try to get away from being captured, you're gonna get shot with 3 meltas. That's not. I'd rather not kill you.
You don't
I know
understand
I
how
hate
Gizmek
railroading
works.
people and not giving them a choice, but I think you just get captured in this scene.
I think it will take my chances.
Okay.
All right.
If this is how Gizmek goes down, then
what's
he goes
your-
down that.
What's your
fighting.
defense? I guess.
My defense is now 4.
Can I do something in here? Because I was already sort of thinking about this.
What's your plan?
Okay, so he hits you with the thermal spear, which is a super double heavy melta. So you're gonna take like 20 something damage or something, like AP like 6.
How the
Something crazy?
fuck do wounds scale in this fucking game?
They
I
don't.
mean, it's a vehicle weapon, so it's just gonna be outrageous.
Vehicle weapon. Also, I sort of wanted to do something originally when Gizmek
I thought it was next to a
shot
skimmer
down.
with like 3 guys with regular melta
No, no,
guns.
No, this was the
No.
armature.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just said a
It
skimmer
was
came
also-
down and these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
there's
armature was also there.
There's also
Yeah.
that. There's both things.
Like there are dudes and also the armature.
uh,
So do you want to take that back, or
time out for a
do you want
second
me to
because
continue?
I sort of wanted Sator to attempt to do something when Gizmek was fucking thrown to the ground by the Harbinger or whatever in the first place.
I mean, it's fine to get captured because you're going to go with Holtz to whatever their
Yeah.
base is or whatever. They're not going to like.
Well,
like,
Gizmek
no,
doesn't
anything.
fucking know that.
I know,
That's
but
the
like,
problem.
I understand, but like, narratively, do you think the Gizmek would like be dangerous with an armature literally pointed at him? Like, do you think he has the
He's an
bravery
orc.
to do that? Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
what-
he doesn't really care about his own life. I don't know.
What is Sator planning on doing? Like,
I was thinking about fucking when Gizmek was already down by the Harbinger, they were pointing guns at him, fucking tried to teleport inside there and kill the guy inside.
I mean, if you want to do like crazy navigator shit, you can totally try that.
Yeah.
To try and save Gizmek.
Alright, so
But yeah, so
'Cause
like, it's like a move or get shot situation with an armature. So it's like it's very tense.
time out for a second. So as or back a bit, as Gizmek was thrown down to the ground from his feet and he has guns pointed at him, Sator puts down this bottle of MSX and asks the guy who's supposed to be killed at the end of all of this, "Excuse me, where's the bathroom in here?"
Yeah, he gestures and like doesn't even take his eyes off the screen. He's like so enamored with what's happening.
Sator goes in there and locks the door behind him and he's going to attempt to teleport inside of the Harbinger.
Well, I don't think you could
Or
teleport
with that-
inside the armature because it's like
Yeah.
there's literally no space.
It's a cockpit for the size of one person.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally a chair inside of a metal box.
I only have
you could
one
tell
question.
behind the armature if you wanted to like shoot it with something or whatever.
If I teleport in front of him, I could also fucking attempt to potentially stare him.
Yeah, you could do that too.
How
It
risky
would
is
also freak him out.
Sator
It would also
willing to
freak him out, and so he probably you might not shoot. He might shoot stuff to say. I'd have to like randomly roll it.
I know the night houses would understand what the fucking navigator is. They would have to.
Yeah, but
I mean, the
teleporting
the
Nosferatu
masters-
looking.
The masters, yes, but the armature pilots are not masters.
Mm.
They're just dudes.
I mean, would it be possible to teleport on top of him?
if you wanted to, yeah.
All right, let me double check what.
I just imagine you just like in every fucking movie when there's like a car chase scene, you like teleport on top of the fucking like thing upside down, staring him straight in the eye, but this time it's like a third eye.
I
Yeah.
don't remember the exact rules that we like how homebrewed for this, but it was
Difficulty number 5, and it was +1 at longer ranges, but you literally allow me to teleport.
This is
to
not like to another
systems.
moon or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's because you can't see where you're going. That's the longer distances one. The part.
Yeah, that's why I asked about seeing stuff on the.
Oh, here it is. Must roll extra wrath die depending on distance, right? So
But I was like teleporting to a different.
wrath die with this.
It was like teleporting to a different system is another wrath die or a different
Right.
planet. and
Right.
such.
So you're going pretty far, like multiple kilometers, to a place you can't see. So we're gonna add at least one wrath die for that. So one wrath
Yeah.
extra.
So
And,
2 wraths.
see where it goes.
I believe.
Use the glory.
Give me a second. So is this a difficulty of 5 or 6?
5, because 6 would be to,
Alright.
to like another planet or.
It's
moon or
5.
whatever.
There's just another chance for
Alright,
a
alright.
complication.
Yeah.
And 2 wrath dice. I'm gonna spend the glory because obviously.
A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That
Yeah,
does
so
it.
there's like this like gross sound of like folding reality from inside the bathroom. The bathroom explodes as Sator pushes enough like air around him as he teleports to like literally destroy everything inside that room. And
Sounds of
next thing he
shattering
knows,
porcelain.
he's on top of the armature looking at Gizmek. Gizmek, you see Sator just like you blink and he's like there for some fucking reason.
Oh, shit, what are you getting at?
Sator does the TF2 sniper salute.
It makes like a little like popping sound, and like everyone like turns their attention to Sator. The armature like wheels back like confused, and like it's like rolling under your feet. Do you want to do something real quick before you has something
Get
happen to
thrown
you?
loose.
Hold up. So first thing, probably hold the fuck onto the arbinger potentially, or
Yeah, there's like a little like handlebar that you like reach down
Yeah.
and grab onto as it tries to like wheel backwards in confusion. You can see the melted turd on top like spin around in your general direction.
yeah, but it currently cannot hit him, and it's Melta is still a lot of damage, but Sator would survive probably at least 1 hit from it.
I mean, it would probably cut a limb off, but yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Sator already replaced the limb. He doesn't care.
Yeah, as long as it breaks the correct
I'm just saying
limb.
there's like a danger. So
Yeah, I got it.
you have an action to do something.
All right. So how far are the guys on the ground? Would they be?
They're like 20,
At this point,
30
has the
feet
skimmer
away.
shown up yet?
The skimmer's on the ground. And
Yeah.
the guy, like they'd surrounded Gizmek, and Gizmek had his hands up and whatever. And they were getting close with the loop, right? So this is before Gizmek went Gizmek on the loop. Because then he would have gotten just shot.
Alright.
So
No,
we're
my
just
actual
retract
question.
that. Instead, Sator's on top of this armature, and everyone's like focused. It's chaos. Chaos is
Yeah, my actual question is: are they in lidless terror range, which is normally 30 meters?
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right.
Gizmek would get caught in it as well.
Sator would try to distract Gizmek with something like, "Hey Gizmek, look at that big green mech."
Come on.
So he might get like a +1 to resist, but yeah.
Sure.
Difficulty number is target's resolve, so what's their resolve?
Probably not great. Now, you can either lidless stare the pilot directly below you or the guys with guns that are pointing at you. Your choice.
I'd recommend the armature. He has the big, nasty weapons.
Uh,
So that'll determine the result.
if I lidless stare the arbitrary, depending on how it goes, Sator could avoid lidless staring Gizmek too. So
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. Okay, arbitrary. Even though he will have a much higher resolve.
Yeah. So his result is going to be 4.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right.
The other guy's resolve is like 2.
All right. So first, let's lidless stare the guy with the big guns. Boop. And that
Nice.
goes through.
Yeah. So you look down, and so like armatures have like a little like glass like panel that you can see the pilot, and he's like looking up at you as he's like, and you can see him like twitching, and you can see him like moving the melta cannon around at you, and he's looking up at you with fear in his eyes, and then you open up your eye on him, and he just stops. The armature halts; it like jerks to a halt, and you stop having to like hold on to the handle.
What lidless stare normally does in what we use is that it deals 1 mortal wound, and the target counts as having failed the terror test, so he's gonna want to run the fuck away.
But you can't move at all. So that's what the Held in the Gaze does. If successful, the target is locked. It cannot make a move. It must beat the navigator in a willpower check each time it tries to use a psychic power. And
I was going to use the lidless stare, but that also works. It's whatever. Navigators are weird anyway.
Oh, you wanted to do a lidless stare. Gotcha. Okay.
Both of them work just as well.
Okay, so this would be better for you than the terror test, because then like he would throw you off of the armature or whatever and just take a mortal wound. This one like holds him in place.
Paralyzed currently.
But it is sustained, so you'd have to like constantly hold it. So do you want to do this lidless staring? Because that's sustained as well.
I'll take only 1 mortal wound if he throws me off.
Yeah, something like that.
Lidless stare him, make him go nuts.
Okay, so instead of like holding him in your gaze, you like open the eye all the way up and you shotgun this guy with eye power through the window. You can see his face start to like burn and crisp and melt, and he screams, and the armature like shoots up at it's very powerful. So it like throws you clear, no matter how hard you tried to hold onto the handle. Like you break your hand to hold onto it.
Should I roll fucking athletics to see how well Sator sticks the landing?
Yeah, give me an athletics difficulty like 4 to not take mortals when you land.
No.
Yeah, you'll take taking 3 mortals. And the armature just starts fleeing like down the corridor. All the guys are like, "Hey, what's going on?" And like,
how many mortals do I take?
You're gonna take 1.
I'll roll.
Do you have a power field? Oh yes, never mind.
Yeah,
we're sorry.
Nope.
Nope. No chance in hell. You do take a mortal wound.
Yeah.
Is it possible in this momentary lapse while they're looking at this armature running away, like, "Hey, where the fuck you're going?" for Gizmek to pull out his own melta-gun and fire at them?
You have a melta-gun?
Yes, I do. I got one during that thing on the weird ship with the weird black goop thing.
That's true. Okay, so you brought a melta-gun to this planet with you.
Oh yeah.
Somehow, and you like wheel it around on one of these guys and open fire. Give me a ballistic skill test.
Any bonus because they're not noticing?
Do they?
Yeah, can I get like a +1 because they're distracted?
I mean, they might have
Yeah,
low.
they're running around and stuff, so I don't think so. I think that
They might have
it's
low
normal-
defense
I think
instead
it's just a
because
normal ballistic skill. Yeah.
they might have low defense because
Come
they
on,
have
game.
no fucking clue
All
what's
right, I get
happening.
1. What's their fucking defense? Is it 1 or no?
It's 2.
Fuck.
So you fire. It has a. You've never fired an Imperial Milta before. It's got quite a kick to it that you're not used to. Or if anything, it's got like less of a kick than you're used to.
Yeah,
so you're like
that would
expecting it to
actually be the
kick,
case.
and it doesn't. So you fire low, and it like sears the ground. All the guardsmen scream.
I jump behind a rock for cover.
They're gonna make a terror test. They're fucking out of here.
One.
They're fucking out of it.
So they just start
do
to run.
They start to run? Or are they using the skimmer?
The skimmer starts to take off, leaving most of them behind. One of them manages to jump on the skimmer as it flies away. The rest of them are like running.
Will you
down
allow
the-
me like last ditch effort to jump and like grasp onto the skimmer with my power claw?
Give me. It's gonna be really hard athletics test because it's kind of far away from you. Like they landed pretty far.
All right.
So
I
difficulty
only
like
have
5.
one.
All right, let's see if this works.
Yeah, because it's kind of slow. So you definitely had to have the time.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Nice.
did.
You
Get
got
that
it.
glory.
Glory too. Yeah.
I also had the question if I could run up to the skimmer and lock the piloting test, but go ahead with this now.
I mean, you're on your back on the rock, so.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to get up. I'm actually aware of this
So
situation.
Gizmek, you managed to like jump towards the skimmer as it starts to fly, and you managed to like clip your power claw onto it. So you're hanging off the bottom of it, with your power claw like shoved Wolverine style into the bottom of the skimmer.
All right, so I'm
the
gonna have my
kind of
melt-a-gun in my
pain.
offhand, trying to get it up, and I'm gonna be screaming. Like I'm assuming that the like there's some open space and he can hear me inside the cockpit in some way.
I mean, it's an open top skimmer, so they can
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
hear you. Although
Yeah,
it's very
so-
loud.
so-
There's a lot
so
of battle happening.
I'm an orc. I
Yeah.
think I can be louder. Gizmek is basically screaming, "You land this thing, or I'll melt a gun to bloody cockpit!"
All right, give me an intimidation check, difficulty 4.
All right, intimidation. I get +1 to all intimidation checks because I'm an orc, and I base it on strength.
I'm gonna put an extra difficulty on it because it's so loud.
Okay,
So 5.
let's hope this works. Okay, I will just do
Hey.
that.
Yeah, and you can shift to glory as well.
Oh yeah, another
You
glory.
can shift too. You can shift too.
Shift two.
Yes, you can. Oh no, you can
One
only
for
shift one per
extra.
test.
One
Okay,
for
Okay.
Extra.
So
One
yeah,
per-
so you,
one max
you
per test, okay.
scream, and you hear like over the edge, like very punily, okay, we're landing. And the skimmer like goes down to the ground on the top of the cliff. It's just insanity up above on the plane. There's just bullets flying in every direction, and it's a scary time. You manage to get your feet back on the ground, and the skimmer like tries to come down on top of you, basically. But you scoot to the side and rip your claw out. And
Jump
the
on
guys are
immediately
standing there with
afterwards.
their hands up. There's 2 of them.
I stand on the deck and walk up to both of them and just like, "Congratulations, welcome to my crew. Hey, Soot, get off your ace!"
Sator is probably a win already.
Sator,
Rising.
you're on the ground, and yeah, you see like the tails of these other guardsmen, but like night house vassals or whatever,
Night House grunts.
running like down the valley in a distance away from you. So you manage to get up on your feet and like brush your hands together. Yeah.
Unironically, just a little bit out of character, I'm happy that my stubbornness at least got Sator the chance to use his eye again.
I mean, I was gonna do it. I was sort of thinking, but I just wait. I'll wait for Holtz to do his thing first.
Well, Holtz is
Anyways,
perfectly happy being transported back to the night like base, right?
And
Anyway,
he was captured. Like, that's the
Sator,
game.
chuckles to himself, and if there is like any cameras around or I forgot what they're called now. Why
Servo
Servo skulls
Servo
with
skulls.
cameras, yeah.
He'll
Yeah,
say-
like the moment that Gizmek looked like he was getting captured, the servo skulls like flew off. To look at the fucking combat. So there's none pointed at you guys right now.
Sator sort of chuckles to himself, and he's just thinking, I should have brought Ira along in this. Should have really enjoyed the show. And just starts going towards where...
Something to note. Pippi is still with Holtz.
That's fine. Pippi's with me.
Yeah, sure. She got captured as well, I guess.
Yeah. Pippi wouldn't really argue much. She would just find it fun.
Anyways, Sator is just gonna walk up to Gizmek's shuttle now.
So Gizmek, you pilot it back down into the valley, basically. And you pick up Sator. What do you do with those two other guys? You just sort of knock them
Also
off, or
on his way, Sator,
around, or what do you do?
Sator will say on his way, "You're welcome to Gizmek."
Yeah, I owe you one. Now get on the bloody skimmer.
What was that, Holtz?
What?
You cut out really hard.
No,
right
sorry.
there.
I was talking to someone else. Sorry, my bad.
Oh,
It's
no worries.
fine.
It's
Anyways,
okay. You are forgiven this time.
All right.
What do you,
So that's
what do you want to do
As
with
for
the-
the other two on the skimmer, like you were asking, Gizmek promptly takes their own handcuffs and handcuffs them and puts them in the seats at the back of the skimmer.
let me check what my piloting is.
Or in whatever
I have
back storage, whatever he can manage, because he doesn't really care if they're comfy or not.
I have 4 in piloting and 1 agility, so my piloting is 5.
All right, you should probably be the pilot then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you make any pilot tests or anything. You guys managed to get away. Where do you head? Do you head back to the city? Do you head where do you go?
I mean,
So, Hooch is over there with Pippi.
You Sator did see Holtz get captured by House Meridian,
yeah.
but you're not really
Well-
sure where their battle base is. You'd have to ask.
Holtz got captured, but it's part of the plan, and
Well,
I'm
yeah,
glad
Holtz
to-
volunteered himself up for that crap. I ain't about to get captured business. Let's just go back to the city.
Just pulls the throttle and goes back to the city.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Here, Gizmek's stubbornness is entirely predicated on, hey, Holtz signed up for this. I didn't. Don't rope me into your shit. I didn't say I was allowed to get captured. You're talking about the skimmer, and you. Fuck off.
Well, now we're so far off the rails that I think this is probably a good place to end it for this weekend, so that I can figure out what the hell is going on.
I love knowing I've derailed an adventure, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, but I do
it's
love it.
you and Holtz. It's fine. It's fine. Like, that's good. I like it. It's just I don't know what to do next, and it takes me a while to think through story points to make them.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get
So,
you. I get you.
This is
The entire point was to start a melee. I was like, you know what?
If we had another hour, I would have had Saphar doing shit in the background as well to add, and we would have been able to pad out the time. But we're missing a character, so I'm out of shit to
Yeah,
talk
you're good.
about that they thought about. So we're good. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you guys watching enjoyed the insanity of the night
Me being
fighting.
a stubborn orc.
Well, that too, but also all the crazy shit with Holtz
Yeah.
always.
Can I make a
Narrative declaration?
narrative declaration that Sator was recording stuff with his data slate?
You could. I will be keeping the board state as is for next week.
Yeah.
So do you
So
want
if
to
you
use
use
up a
it, you
wrath
lose
point?
it for next session. I
I'm
mean,
not gonna use it.
I use a fucking wrath point on throwing some beacons around.
True. I'm gonna do it too then.
Okay.
Fuck you.
You have posterity
It's
and
going to
recordings of
be
this.
recorded in 4K then.
Nice.
4K
Also, remove
data
my
slate. Woo.
Remove my
Alrighty. All right. Well, with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, now that we've gotten ourselves into a bit of a scrap on this planet during this tournament, you will be joining us again next time as the tournament continues and this little game of Holtz progresses. But in the meanwhile, thank you for joining us on Unlucky Rolls with the Blackstone Tales. I have been Trisky, the runner of this channel, and joining me has been Marius as Sator, Chrono, who had to leave early, as Saphar, Reaper Joe as Rogue Trader Holtz, and Six as our lovely GM.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace!
Peace.